Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today we have another round of testing new makeup. We got products from Sigma, from Rare, also the new brow products from Unleashia as well. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on some new products that I recently added into my collection, then please continue watching. Alright, so to get started, I already have my tinted sunscreen and also concealer on. So the first product we're going to start off with is cream blush. I have this one here from Rare Beauty. It's their mounting blush and I got the shade Nearly Apricot. So I'm going to use it with a brush first, just get a little bit and apply that to the apples of my cheeks. I like using a brush with cream products. I think that just works better for my skin. But I like the shade so far. But Rare Beauty now is officially cruelty-free. They have claimed that they have been cruelty-free since the beginning, but Cruelty-Free Kitty on Instagram finally verified them, and I go to her for Western brands. So now that they have been verified by them, I literally, the same day she posted, I went to Sephora, got a few products. So I'm going to be doing a whole video on Rare Beauty and the products that I got, but I thought I would just test out this blush today. And it's drying down pretty matte actually, like it's a cream to powder, I would say. It does look a little bit patchy in some areas. It could be just my skin because I do have this issue with a lot of cream blushes. Not all, but quite a few, so I don't know, I think my skin is just not made out for cream blushes. And then we have a new setting powder from Sigma Beauty. This is the Soft Focus setting powder. I'm going to use the shade Vanilla Bean. There are 4 different shades. So this one is Buttermilk, Honey, and then the deepest one is called Cinnamon. So there are 4 different shades. I will be using the lightest. I have not used this yet, so I'm curious to see how it is. They also send 2 brushes along with the powders, so the F12 setting powder and then the F24 all over powder. I'm probably going to use the F12 just because it's a little bit smaller. I'll try it with the brush on this side and then the puff on this side, since I do like to use a sponge or a puff to set my face in, but we'll just try both and see what works, because I mean if it's Sigma it's probably gonna work better with a brush. So I'm just gonna take a little bit, tap the rest off on the back of my hand, and we're just gonna lightly set that in. As you can see, it does mattify my face down. I wouldn't say it looks too like pore blurring, which I do like that in my powders, but it's doing a good job of just setting everything down. I actually quite like what it did there, so now we'll just use a puff. Take some off the back of my hand and then work that in. I just like to press it in my skin very lightly. And I think definitely with the puff, it looks more blurred out, which I definitely like a lot more. So I mean, it comes down to personal preference whether you like a puff or a brush, but I probably would go with a puff. And then I have this sunscreen mist. It's from a brand called Love From Yours. It's their Sunny Side Up sunscreen mist. I thought we could use this to set our face in. It does say that it sits well with makeup. There's no white cast. It's non-greasy, lightweight, and water-based. It has SPF 30. It's vegan, cruelty-free, just all the good things. I just love the idea of this because I'm not one to reapply my sunscreen throughout the day. So let's see how the mist is, because I'm really picky. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Let's try it. Hopefully it doesn't ruin my makeup. Okay. Okay, we got some splatters, not just one, we got a few splatters. I don't know if I should let it dry or if it's gonna dry down with little spots. So I'm gonna just like press that into my skin even more. Alright, so I just zoomed you guys up onto my brows because we have a few brow products to test out. They both are from Unleashia. They have released new products and they are now moving into brows, which is so exciting. So they came out with an eyebrow pencil. It's their shape defining eyebrow pencil. There are 3 shades. I will be using number 3 taupe gray, which is the darkest shade. And they also came out with this, which is their Shaper Pomade Eyebrow Fixer in Clear. There's only 1 shade of this as of now, but I think the packaging is quite cute because this color is pretty unique. Like, I haven't seen any makeup in this kind of color. So this is the eyebrow pencil and the tip of it is extremely micro. It's tiny, which I know I'm just gonna love. I always like to map out my brow shape by just drawing the underline first, and having a micro brow pencil to do this is key. And so far, getting that drawn on, I know I didn't do much, but I can already tell I'm gonna be loving this brow pencil. It doesn't really feel too waxy, which I do prefer. It's going on like a powder. That's pretty much what I do with my brow pencil, and then I'll just go in with brow powder. I'm just taking my brow powder, which is not new. I'm just using the ABH one, and I just like to fill in the tail and then take what's left and bring that to the front. Then I'll go back in with the pencil to fill in any sparse spots. Okay, let's try the pomade, which is like the brow gel. First impressions, this wand is huge. So we'll just use a little bit. But I think that's a pretty good brow gel. The only thing is just the wand. Really, it's the wand for me. Alright, so just fast forward, my brows are now on. I also did one eye off camera, but I quickly just want to touch base on the brow pomade, the brow gel from Unleashia. It definitely works a lot like brow soap or brow wax. So if you want to really push up your brow hairs up and you like that effect, I think this would work great because my brows are set in place. So I think this would be a great option, and also, like, you know, the wand is pretty big, so you could really comb through all of that. That's not really my style, but I think it still works great as brow gel. But I really do like the brow pencil. I love how micro it is. It's just what I really do like in a brow pencil. So I think these 2 products work hand in hand together. As you can see, I did do one eye off camera. The palette that I'm going to be playing with today is from Sigma as well. It's the Enchanted Mini. I think it's called the Enchanted Mini palette, and the reason why I wanted to spotlight this palette is because my good friend here on YouTube, Kelly Gooch, who I know you guys love and adore as well, she did a little set with Sigma. So her set includes the Enchanted Mini and also 3 brushes, which I do own 2 of them, and I do have one that looks quite similar. So I just wanted to spotlight that. I didn't get her set myself just because I do already own everything, but I just wanted to talk about it and just congratulate her because that's just so exciting and so major, and she deserves it. Like, anyone that I know here on this platform, Kelly is the one that deserves this collab with Sigma, and I think she picked out really amazing brushes and a palette for her set. It just makes a lot of sense. So her collection does go for $60 US. It comes with the Enchanted Mini and 3 brushes. So the brushes that you get in her set will all be black, but I just have them in, like, I guess, limited edition colors. You get the E40, which is a classic Sigma fluffy blending brush. And then the next brush you will get is the E24 Diffuse Blender. I use this one all the time. It's great just to pack on color all over the lid or on your lower lash line as well. Absolutely love this brush. And then the last brush you get, I don't have the exact one, but it is an angled brush. I forgot the exact name. I'll put the number here. I just don't have my phone on me. But it's very, very similar to the E65, which is an angled brush, which I also love. It's been my go-to angled brush. So 3 brushes, 1 palette will come in Kelly's kit. So first I'm just going to prime my eyes like always using the ColourPop Party Proof eye primer. This is the one I've been using as of recently. But we're going to start off with this shade here called Innocent using the E24 brush that also comes in Kelly's kit. And I'm just going to pack that all over my lid. This is what I love this brush for. Just sweeping this all over my eye. This is a really nice cool tone mauvey shade. This is going to be the transition and base color. I'm also just taking that same brush and I'm going to run that all over my lower lash line. And I just like to take the E40, which comes in Kelly's kit, and I'm just going around the edges just to diffuse this out even more. I want everything to look blended and smoked out. Now hopping into the shade Terra, I'm going to focus this at the outer corners of my eyes. I love Sigma shadows now, and I definitely first heard of Sigma shadows from Kelly. She was really the first person I heard like talk about their palettes, and that's why I feel like this collaboration is just perfect. But now I'm going to switch to the E55. This is a brush I used to use all the time, so I'm glad I have it back in my collection. I'm going to focus this at the outer corners of my eyes. Going back into the E40, taking a little bit of that transition shadow Innocent, and just always going back and forth. That's just what I like to do, back and forth. Back and forth. Now going into the darker shade in the palette called Clay Stone. Again, just focusing that at the outer corners of my eyes, but I'm keeping it super low and onto my lid. Not gonna go too high into my crease as this shade is super dark and I do want that very soft gradient effect. And I'm not dipping back into the shadow because it's just not necessary. So pigmented. Taking the E30 brush, which is a pencil brush, focusing that at the outer corners on my lower lash line. And taking this shade down here called Budding. This is going at the inner third of my eyes. A really nice burgundy rose gold metallic shade. I think it complements the eyeshadow perfectly. But I did take one more palette. This one is from Unleashia, the Glitterpedia palette in #1 All of Glitter. It's an all glitter palette. I have not used this one yet, so for my inner corner, since there wasn't something light enough in the Enchanted Mini, I'm gonna take this shade up here called Refine. And this one is a little bit more satin-like, so I'm gonna use that as a base first. But you can tell it has a lot of glitter in it already, but it does have more of a stronger base. And then taking the one right below it, this one is a little bit more like pressed glitter. I'm just gonna apply that right on top just to reinforce those glitters. But that is all of the eyeshadow done. Let's move on to eyeliner. I have a new one that I'm really excited to use. It's from Charlotte Tilbury. I actually forgot that I picked this up because it's been a while. So this is the Feline Flick Quick Fine Line Super Brown eyeliner. It has a little grip here, like a pencil or a pen, which is nice. And it is, I believe, a felt tip. Yeah, it's a felt tip that is the brown. It's a pretty dark brown, but I just noticed that in Western makeup, there isn't a lot of brown liquid liners. This was one of the few that I could find here in New Zealand in stores. So I was excited to pick it up. So let's give it a go. Okay, I started off with a really strong wing. It wasn't supposed to be that long. The brush of this is pretty long. And I usually do prefer brush tips, but I can work with felt tip, but I do prefer a brush. Although this one I actually don't mind too much. When you apply it, it does go on a little bit lighter, but it dries down a little bit darker brown. We will go in with the darkest brown shadow, Claystone, in the Sigma Enchanted palette, using the E65, which would be really similar to the angled brush in Kelly's kit. I think her one is a little bit more skinny than this one. This one's a little bit more wide. Okay, that eyeliner I quite like actually. That eyeliner is pretty good. And finally onto lips, I have these two products from Sigma as well. This came with the Enchanted collection. So we have the liquid lipstick in the shade Dapper and the lip gloss in the shade Lilac Wine. So we'll use a mixture of the two. So starting off with the liquid lipstick, I think this will pair perfectly with this eye look. And I'm going to top it off with the gloss. Alright guys, so here is the final look using some new makeup. Overall, love how the final look turned out. But to wrap up the video, I want to give a quick speed review on each of the products very quickly. So starting off with the first product, Rare Beauty Mounting Blush. This one is okay, honestly. I did go on top with a powder blush in the end just because it was looking a little bit patchy. So if you guys have any advice for me and how you use this product, then please let me know. But I think as of now, honestly, not my favorite. Not a good first impression into Rare Beauty, honestly, because that's the first product I've used from them. So I guess my expectation with Rare is like up here because it's been raved about. So that blush, not my favorite. The Sigma loose powder, I quite like. I definitely like it with the puff, so next time definitely would probably just use it all around with the puff. And now that I've had my makeup on for a little bit, I think it's like sitting in really well. So this one I can see myself using a lot and really loving. Then for the sunscreen mist, this one I actually quite like. I think my skin looks a little bit more dewier from when I was setting it. I think just the only thing is the nozzle, how you will see those little droplets. It's not such a fine mist, which I'm pretty picky about, but I think overall this is nice, and I definitely will add this into my handbag, update you guys at a later date, see how it goes for me. The Unleashia brow products also really love, especially the brow pencil. The pomade is nice as well, but for how I do my brows, it's not something that I'm like raving over, but it's still a good product. Definitely love these two. I just love Unleashia in general, honestly. And then we move into the Kelly Gooch Sigma kit. Technically, this is not her actual kit, but these are the products that you get in her kit. So I'm just gonna call it the Kelly Gooch kit because you can get it for a discounted price. It's such an amazing value, and you're supporting an amazing creator. If you guys have not checked out Kelly yet, you definitely should. Again, a big congratulations to Kelly. Amazing set. The Unleashia palette, I only used 2 shades, but I already knew I was gonna love it. This is such a great topper palette. So for example, like a look today, I didn't have that extra oomph. I just have this one palette that I can go to, and I love it for that. And then for the Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner, this one to my surprise, honestly, I didn't have like such high expectations for it, but I actually really enjoyed it in the end. Considering I don't even like felt tip pens, like not that I don't like it, I prefer brush tip. Considering I do prefer brush tip, the felt tip one on this I actually really do like. It's very precise, does what it needs to do. I like the color of brown, so I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. And then lastly, for the 2 Sigma lip products, I think this is a really nice combo. It's definitely a little bit darker for what I like on the daily, but I think it's a really nice sort of 4-time mauvey shade, and I think it fits perfectly with the Enchanted palette. So these two were nice as well. I think a good combo. Like Sigma always comes out with a liquid lipstick and a gloss pairing, so that was really pretty. So yeah, overall, honestly, everything was pretty good. My least favorite would have to be the Rare Beauty blush. So with that being said, that pretty much does wrap up on today's video. Hopefully you guys found this interesting to watch. Let me know your thoughts on any of these products if you have tried them or if you are interested in them. I would love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. I love chatting with you guys, so hopefully I'll see you in the comments after I upload. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. I truly do appreciate it. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!